The heart is an organ in the circulatory system that pumps blood around the body. Let's look at the structure of the heart. The heart has 4 chambers: right atrium, left atrium, right ventricle, and left ventricle. The right chambers and left chambers of the heart are completely separate from each other by a muscular wall called the septum. The tricuspid valve is located between the right atrium and right ventricle. The bicuspid valve is located between the left atrium and the left ventricle. The semilunar valves are located at the base of the pulmonary artery and aorta. The function of the valves is to ensure that blood flows only in one direction. The 4 main blood vessels of the heart are the aorta, which transports oxygenated blood away from the heart to all parts of the body except the lungs. The pulmonary artery transports deoxygenated blood from the heart to the lungs. The pulmonary vein transports oxygenated blood from the lungs to the heart. And lastly, the vena cava transport deoxygenated blood from all parts of the body to the heart. How does blood flow in the heart? The right atrium receives deoxygenated blood from all parts of the body through the superior and inferior vena cava. The right atrium contracts, and blood is then forced into the right ventricle through the tricuspid valve. When the right ventricle contracts, deoxygenated blood is pumped into the pulmonary artery, and blood is transported to the lungs. Oxygenated blood from the lungs is transported into the left atrium via the pulmonary veins. The left atrium contracts, and blood is then forced into the left ventricle through the bicuspid valve. When the left ventricle contracts, oxygenated blood is pumped into the aorta, and blood is transported to all parts of the body. There are 3 main types of blood vessels in our body: artery, capillary, and vein. An artery carries blood away from the heart. A vein carries blood towards the heart. Capillaries enable the exchange of gases, nutrients, and excretory products between the body cells and the blood. Arteries have thick muscular and elastic walls. Arteries have a small lumen but no valves. Blood flows faster and at a higher pressure than in the veins. Veins have a larger lumen than arteries. The walls are less muscular, thinner, and less elastic. Veins have valves to ensure blood flows in only one direction. Blood flows at a lower pressure than in the arteries. Capillaries are tiny vessels with a small lumen. Capillaries are much thinner than arteries and veins because their walls are only 1 cell thick. There are no valves in the capillaries. Blood flow is the slowest in the capillaries. The circulatory system in humans is known as a double circulatory system, consisting of the pulmonary and systemic circulation systems. The pulmonary circulatory system is the pathway of blood from the heart to the lungs and back to the heart. The systemic circulatory system is the pathway of blood from the heart to all parts of the body and back to the heart.